Hold on, you guys. Microwave. I had to go pick the microwave up from Best Buy, so the man came to get it. Okay, you guys. Next story. Now, we haven't talked about WhatsApp in a long time, but there's no time like the present, you guys. So when was that? In November, Facebook, amongst many other social media platforms, Twitter, was it Instagram as well? Many of the social media platforms banned WhatsApp from posting because they felt like he was using the platform to incite the riot, to put many people in danger, even be responsible for the deaths there at the riot, that he used the platforms to further the lie that the election was stolen from him, that, you know, we know that many people believe anything they see on Facebook, anything that they see on the internet, and that he used those platforms to create an atmosphere that was not safe for the average American person. So they banned him from the platform. I believe he was banned from Facebook for 6 months. Now, fast forward 6 months later, Facebook has decided to continue the ban. All right. I think Facebook would like to have him be banned forever. However, there's a Facebook oversight committee that is responsible for making sure that the decisions that Facebook makes is fair. Okay. And the oversight committee says, yeah, no, what we're going to do here is we're going to let this ban continue on for 6 more months. And in that 6 months, you will need to prove to the oversight committee that Facebook has been very clear in what could and could not be said and posted on their platform. You know, there has been complaints in the past. Facebook has been very vague, and certain people they would cut off, they would put in Facebook jail, they would delete. Then other people could seem to get away with way more and saying way more, that there's never been any clear and concise rules of what can and can't be said on the platform. And because of that, that gives WhatsApp some leeway into them saying they should be allowed back on the platform. So now Facebook has a responsibility of not only proving that WhatsApp violated their rules, but also making it clear to everybody who is on Facebook of what can and can't be said, and holding to that rule throughout. Now, it's been very nice not seeing WhatsApp on any of the social media platforms. I'm sure that has been detrimental to his post-presidential career, because he cannot get out the things that he wants to say the way he wants to say it, okay, or the way that he wants it to be put out there. He just doesn't have the access to the masses. And actually, it was a blessing in disguise, because things were so hot after the election and after the riots. The fact that he's not able to say anything anymore, it was able to really calm down, at least on the surface, the shit that was going on from the extreme right and all of that. Now, do I believe that they are going to just go away? Obviously not. But the fact that they don't have their esteemed leader out there poking them to go and do something, you know, I think that has actually been very helpful to these United States in this time. And really, 6 more months will keep him quiet. We need him to be quiet for a little while. The country needs to heal That's our favorite thing to say these days. The country needs to heal, and we can't do it with a motherfucker pulling the scab off of it every couple of weeks. And you know, that's what WhatsApp is good for, just coming out and saying whatever the fuck he feel like saying. So right now he's still banned, but that might not be forever. Okay, we'll take 6 more months though. All right, you guys, congratulations are in order, I guess, depending on who you ask. And let me not be that way, because babies are a blessing, right? They say that Erica Mena and Safari are having another baby, you guys. That's right. I have come to the conclusion that anytime we see Safari and Erica fighting in social media and all of that, and them threatening to leave each other, and her calling him a bitch ass, and him saying that he should have never gotten married, it was the worst decision of his life. Whenever we see them having these type of fights, I'm just gonna call it foreplay. We cannot keep getting caught up with Erica and Safari, because somewhere among all of that back and forth that them two do, they make it back to each other, and clearly they made it back to each other enough to bring another baby on the way. So Safari did post a picture of him, and well, they both posted a picture of him and her. You know, they take very dramatic maternity shots. Actually, they look very nice on there. Very bronzed. Erica looked darker, but yeah, they look nice in the picture. And then in the comment it said, Sapphire, that's the baby girl that they have right now, Sapphire has a new sibling, new baby, who dis? Hashtag 2 under 2, time to get neutered. Now I need a chef and a nanny and a psychologist. He didn't say that, I did. And Erica posted something that said, like, who needs a regular relationship anyway? All right, so I mean, I guess, listen, if they like it, I love it. This will be their 3rd child for the family. It'll be the 2nd child together with Safari and Erica. She already had a 13-year-old son from a previous relationship. So the family is growing, and that should buy them some more time on Love and Hip Hop, and that should put a few more dollars in their pockets, and it should at least keep them together for a few more minutes. Them two, we ain't even gonna worry ourselves about it, child. We ain't. I mean, I never was. I am really shocked that they've made it this far, but Safari seems to want to stay, and I mean, ain't nobody holding them down, right? So I mean, it is what it is. Congratulations to the happy couple. All right, you guys, so if you guys haven't been watching, I am reviewing the show Pose. It does come on Sunday nights, and unless my schedule really lets up with work, the Pose reviews won't be up until Tuesdays, okay? Because, yeah, bitch be busy. So, anyway, but you guys know that Pose is at its 3rd and final season, and they just had their premiere party, and it was in New York. And all of the cast and crew was there, including Janet Mock, who is the director. She is a co-writer on the show. She got up on the microphone and had a bit of a meltdown. People are saying that this is actually a Hollywood career-ending meltdown. We will see how it goes, but let me tell you guys what happened. So, not quite sure exactly what kind of day Janet Mock was having, but it didn't seem to be the best. And she was in some sort of space where when she got on the microphone, she unleashed on Hollywood. Yelled, "Fuck Hollywood." She felt like she should have been paid more when she was directing and co-writing on this show. She said she only made $40,000 an episode, and clearly she felt like she was paid, should have been paid more than that. She had a problem with the writers that Ryan Murphy and other producers on the show have brought in. Evidently, he brought in some writers that she was not happy with. She did apologize to one of the transgender writers on there. Her name is Our Lady J. She told her that she apologized for backstabbing behind the scenes to Our Lady J. She went on to say that she lost herself in this whole process, I guess, of directing this show, or the things that she had to do to make sure that this show was a success, and that she apologized for that. But she just really had a bad time. Now, on top of that, she talked about her relationship with her boyfriend, Angel Curiel. Now, he plays Poppy on the show. She actually is dating the 25-year-old actor, and she went on to say how much she loves him, okay, but she was going to break up with him that day, I guess the day of the premiere, because I guess things weren't working out. She said, but what did she do instead? She went and she fucked a crew member, okay? They said that when she was talking, now this is to the cast and the crew, this is a premiere party, this is supposed to be celebrations and good times, and they said that when she was saying that, she had Angel stand up actually while she talked to him. You know, she told him, though, motherfucker, I love you and you can't go anywhere. All right, I'm not letting you go. I'm not living in this house by myself. All right, now why this very personal thing came up in her speech about Hollywood, one wouldn't know. But all I could say is that she was in the midst of a meltdown and just had diarrhea at the mouth and could not stop herself. So they said this speech did last 15 minutes, and she said a lot of damaging things. There hasn't been a video, they said, that has surfaced so far. They have made it, I'm sure that somebody had to have recorded, but I'm sure that Ryan Murphy and his team made sure that that video does not get out. But they say that she said some very damaging things, some very incriminating things in her speech. And yeah, it might be donezo for your girl Janet Mock. Now, they say that there were people there who actually did agree with what she was saying in her speech, including the woman that plays Elektra, okay? That she actually did shout out in support of the things that Janet was saying. Even though we feel this way, I don't know if this is the best approach when you are going to lose your footing, your standing in Hollywood. I mean, as a transgendered person, you know, you really were at the forefront of helping to bring that community more so into Hollywood, and then just to shoot yourself in the foot because you're pissed, you know. But this kind of piss doesn't pay off. This just really just cuts you out of a job. They say, don't get mad, get even. You know, get out there and be the success and make the changes and all that. And you just got mad and said some shit, and now you might have done lost your job and be out of, you know. I mean, she's gonna finish up doing what she's doing with Pose, I'm sure, but, well, I'm sure they're probably finished. You know, they've wrapped the show already, but I don't know if many people in Hollywood, and you guys know that Hollywood is a very large LGBTQ community, so I don't really know if this was the best way to do things. They said as soon as she finished her speech that she immediately regretted it. I don't know if Janet might have been sipping on some brown. I'm not sure if Janet might have been, you know, there may have been even more stronger mood altering things involved, but they said she immediately regretted it. And but I was like, that Janet sure know how to throw a party. Can you imagine sitting up there and having to listen to that? You guys know I have second-hand embarrassment very easily. So if something is already, if I can see that it's about to get embarrassing for somebody else, I'm going to step out the room or I'm going to do something. So I know that whole speech, if I would have been there and had to listen to that, I would have been like, oh my God, what is going on here? We'll see what happens with Janet Mock, but people aren't happy with her. I just kind of feel like if she already felt like this, that there may be more reasons to why Pose is ending than, well, they didn't never really give us any reasons why Pose was ending. I think the show had a very large following. People were interested in the show and the story that was being told there. And, but there obviously was something going on behind the scenes. And the show was what suffered. Okay, because this season clearly is not as good as the last 2 seasons. I mean, we've only seen 2 episodes, but they have a shortened season. They only have 7 or 8 episodes. You know, they're gonna zoom us through, I believe, 7 years or 8 years of time in these next 8 episodes, and I just felt like the show was too good for that. It actually did deserve at least a full season to tell their story and, you know, end it. I've already said all this in the review, but yeah, you guys, Janet Mock definitely made her voice heard. But I'm sad that whatever issues they were having behind the scenes has brought this show to a close. 'Cause I really think that that's what it's done. What do you guys think, though? Did you guys see her? I mean, have you read the interview? I mean, the comments that she said on the mic? They're online and you can read them. People were telling me that she had this long speech, but I didn't know what exactly she said. Then I read it. I was like, ooh, girl. Anyway, you guys, let's move on to the next story. Okay, you guys, so Will Smith, he posted the other day his old dad body. All right, he has a bit of a pot belly. He was in his boxer briefs. He was standing there proudly, you know, unshaven, you know, pecs or whatever they call these things, not really defined, arms not really strong looking or anything. I mean, just looking like your average Joe, taking a picture of himself naked, okay, or just about naked. But he also had that look on his face where once he took this picture, he was going to go to his 25,000 square foot home on the compound of the Will Smith family, where all of his family lives there, on acres upon acres upon acres of land, and continue to live his life happily. I'm sure when you are Will Smith and you have that kind of money, you can afford to gain a few pounds in quarantine. But it seems that Will Smith has gotten tired of the dad body. And this is what he posted on Instagram. This is the body that carried me through an entire pandemic and countless days grazing through the pantry. I love this body, but I want to feel better. No more midnight muffins. This is it. I'm going to get in the best shape of my life. Okay, so he's going to be starting a series on YouTube where it follows him on his back to action hero body status. And, you know, listen, you're Will Smith. He usually is in shape. His body is used to being in shape. So even though he might have put on these pounds over these last 8 months, year or whatever, because his body still remembers him when he was very fit, it should be very easy for him to get back to that. And like I said, he's rich, so he's going to be able to spend most of his time dedicating himself to being very fit. So it's not even going to take that long, y'all. Now, we're going to see it on YouTube. It's going to be a series. He's going to make a lot of money off of that because people like to see what Will Smith is doing and saying in his life. So yeah, this will be something successful for Will Smith, and you know, he's gonna get back in shape, and then he'll get a movie deal where he has to go and run down some street with a gun in his hand and his shirt open, and we'll be able to see his chest and his stomach and his arms and all of that, and he'll be back to the Will Smith that we all know and love. And it seems that he's also inspired many other men to show their dad bods and get in shape as well. I mean, there can't be anything bad about that, okay? So that's what's happening, okay? There is a challenge that Will Smith is doing. Men out there, my male rock stars, will you join Will in his quest for the best shape of his life? Y'all interested? Y'all can get over there and work out with Will. Guys, so it seems that the show The Talk that Sharon Osbourne just departed from is about to lose another host. That's right, you guys. Carrie Ann Inaba has decided that she needs to leave the show for her own health concerns. She said that her health is her most precious gift and that it's time for her to tend to that gift. And because she will be tending to that gift, she cannot be taking no time on The Talk right now. I was just like, that is not a good sign for The Talk. The Talk has had too many things that have happened in a short amount of time, because we just had Eve leave at the end of the year. We had this whole thing with Sharon Osbourne. Now we have Carrie Ann Inaba leaving the show, and it leaves Cheryl Underwood. It leaves Elaine, what's her name? Elaine Welteroth, is that her last name? And it leaves Amanda Klutz. So the 3 people that are on the show, I don't watch the show, so I don't know how their personalities are on the show, but I know that the show concept, the idea is the viewpoints of 5 different women on there. Now we only done got it down to 3. So yes, I don't know, because now the idea of the show is suffering. It's different because you don't have the whole group. And I'm just wondering if this is the beginning of the end. Will people start to drop off, and has CBS, are they going to be able to stop the bleeding on that show? I know those women on there ain't trying to lose their jobs, How long has the talk been on? I mean, it seems like it's at least been on for 10 years. So, yeah. But all these people departing is not good, all right? And everybody has left voluntarily. So, that usually means there's something in the milk ain't clean. Something's going on over there, and the talk might be on its way out, you guys. We'll see. All right, you guys, and just 2 real quick things, because I forgot to talk about Wanya. I meant to throw Wanya in on the whole verses when we were talking about Candy. Talking about the versus battle with all that. Let me just tell you, Wanya is a bitch. The fact that he got so in his feelings that Candy said that, Boyz II Men was the most, disrespectful group that she had ever worked with. But Candy also tried to say that was a long time ago. They were in different spaces back then. She's fine. They're fine. Everything is good now. But Wanya obviously felt very, he was very offended by that. I guess you could be offended by the things she said, even though she tried to soften it up as nicely as she could. But we've heard other people talk about, Babyface has talked about how difficult Boyz II Men were. Dallas Austin talks about how difficult Boyz II Men were. Other people have mentioned how difficult they were. You could basically see it. Wanya is a full-blown diva, not the nicest person. Even in his relationship with Brandy, we've heard things about them, so it's not like Candy was saying something that we hadn't heard before. But oh yeah, he took to social media and he just talked about the fact that Candy's not doing anything in music. She does reality shows and reunions with her group, that's not really doing anything. I was just like, but you guys do that too. You travel as Boyz II Men, like not super headlining, big, huge. Well, you know what? Actually, I think they did have I wonder if they still have that gig in Vegas. I know they had a gig in Vegas that they were doing for a while there. But none of that was even what needed to be said. Okay, he just really got into his feelings about the things that Candy had said and just made it. He just seems like a bitch to me, you guys. I don't know. He just seems like a bitch to me. But I've never really, now I love Boyz II Men, but I ain't never really been a Wanya fan. Keep him on the stage and let him sing, and that's gonna be enough for me. So yeah, that was one of the quickies. And then the other one was, why didn't Jeannie Ma invite her co-host to her wedding? Okay, you guys know she just married Jeezy. I don't even know why people, do you not remember that we in the middle of a pandemic? Okay, everybody had to scale down their weddings. People didn't even get married because of the pandemic. All right, she said she had a very small wedding, just her very closest friends. And yes, I love y'all. I know we say it's a sisterhood. We work together on this TV show and everything. But if I had to choose between these people and my home girls that I grew up with as my for real ace boon coons, then those are the ones I'm inviting, not my people from work. Okay, I mean, I'm gonna let my people from work know, and I'm gonna, you know, we gonna celebrate and maybe even go out and have drinks to celebrate all that. But I mean, if you ain't coming to the wedding, you ought to be okay with that. I think the hosts were okay. I think it was more so the fans are just want to know why she didn't invite, you know, the girls to her wedding, because it was small. It was tiny. Nobody even really knew about the wedding. It wasn't trying to make no big deal of it. She wanted to have a small, intimate wedding. That's what she should be able to do. And then she was explaining the whole thing, and I was getting more annoyed, because I was like, girl, you ain't got to explain it to these niggas out here why you ain't, you know, I had my list and Jeezy had his list, and you ain't invited them because they ain't got invited. Okay? That's it. Get off of here and get on back to work. We do this every single week, so make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, rock stars, bye.